webcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, everybody. Can you hear me and see my screen? If you could just type yes in the questions. All right, excellent. Thank you. Okay, let's get started. Okay, welcome to the Bookmap Platform Details webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap. Risk disclaimer: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Okay, so we're going to go through in this webinar, we're going to take a look at some of the order flow and some of the basic structures in the order flow. Just for the new guys here, we need to go through and show you a little bit about what Bookmap is, so that that's really the starting place here, and then we can dive into Bookmap and start to define some of the areas and what we're looking at in the Bookmap chart. Okay, so the Bookmap, we're a software visualization trading platform. Okay, we do provide education. It comes along with the product. Okay, there's a 4-part educational course, and then the course is backed up every day with the live advanced order flow webinar that starts in a half an hour, or immediately following this webinar. So the whole concept here is you can learn about order flow and how to read and use Bookmap to give you an edge, and then see it every day, that same education that we go through in the course, but see it in the live market. Okay, in that live market, we start to anticipate what that future price movement might be based on what we see in the chart. Okay, so let's jump over to the website and scroll through an intro video here, information about Bookmap, and then we finally get down here to connectivity. Okay, so since we're a software trading platform and with unique visualization, we're not a data provider. Okay, so for futures and for US equities, you will need to provide the data. We actually do provide it for the cryptocurrencies through DXFeed due to a special partnership. Okay, so you can see there's some other trading platforms listed here like NinjaTrader, TTX Trader Pro, and Interactive Brokers Traders Workstation. Okay, we connect to these 3 different platforms here via the API of those platforms. So we are a platform as well when we suggest or recommend to connect directly through CQG, Rhythmic, Gain, IQ Feed, Transact, and then Dev Experts. Now this Dev Experts, if you haven't heard of it before, this is for that NASDAQ total view and NASDAQ last sale for all US equities. Okay, it's if you want more information about it, it's up here. It's a great data feed, and there's some changes being made to it. It's also going to include BATS, EDGX, and CTA data here soon. So it's going to be really robust, and it offers full depth of market. Okay, this is unique. Anyway, I'll get into the full depth of market if you guys want, using Rhythmic, and then also CQG offers it for COMEX and NYMEX, but not CME yet. Okay, so a bit further down, packages. Okay, so you can subscribe monthly or yearly to Bookmap, and you can see there's the digital and global versions here. Okay, the digital version here, it's free, it's real time. It's only access though to 1 digital currency, and then actually US equities, but delayed feed there. So it just gives you an overview of what Bookmap is, what it's visualizing, and give you live data to GDAX exchange for those digital currencies. You only get the basic education, and you only get limited support. Okay, the Digital Plus version, $37 per month, and here you can record and replay your data, and you can trade right from the Bookmap chart using the one-click trading. And for digital currencies, you get up to 20. Right, so a lot more than 1. And you also get that advanced education that I was talking about. Okay, now the global versions here, you can see $49 per month, and this offers all of Digital Plus here, but it includes the ability to connect to the futures market and the U.S. equities. Okay, also that education, advanced education and full support. The global plus, the difference here between that and global are the add-on indicators here. Okay, the one-click trading, trade right from the Bookmap chart, and then these other indicators here, looking at order flow phenomena and start to see larger players in the book. Okay, identify specific players in the order flow with our large lot tracker and iceberg detector. Okay, a few different imbalance indicators here as well, and a correlation tracker. All right, so that's bookmap.com. You can follow us here on social media at bookmap_pro. All sorts of great stuff here. There's a video here, as you can see, for cumulative volume delta setup that we look at. And we can look at that today if you have any questions as well. And then subscribe to our YouTube page here. Just go through some of the playlists that are on the home page. Intro videos here, they're very quick and short. Features and components, okay, here's the new Bookmap 7. And then some of the, what you're looking at, how to use some of the tools in Bookmap. And then these order flow video snippets. Now these are great for understanding what Bookmap is visualizing, and very concise, going through order flow phenomena that we see. These are the core concepts that we go over in detail in the advanced order flow webinar. All right, so let's jump in and take a look at the Bookmap chart. I'll look at the ES unless you guys have some other ideas, something else you'd like to look at, let me know. If you want to look at some equities or if you want to look at a digital currency, that's fine. Other than that, we'll just go here looking at the S&P 500. So what are you looking at here in Bookmap? What is this? Looks like a lot of data, looks very foreign, looks very complex. It's really not. It's really very simple and straightforward data, and it's a very complete view of the market. Because all we're doing is taking, you see this heat map here, the yellow and blue and a little bit of orange in here. All that is the recording of the dome, okay, where they're bidding and offering, and it's just recorded and plotted onto the chart. Okay, so let's just take this off now for the moment here, and you can see now we have, that's one element on the Bookmap chart. Let's close up our CVD indicator panel here as well. Now there's only two other elements on this chart. Okay, it's volume and historical best bid and offer. Okay, so hold on just a minute. I need to quit this for now. There we go. Okay. Okay, so the other two elements here, volume and historical best bid and offer. Okay, even a candlestick chart is more complex than that in concept. Okay, so the volume dots that you see here is just the volume that traded on that historical best bid and offer. And I'm just making the size a bit smaller here. We're very accustomed to looking at volume and price. Okay, but this is like a footprint chart in that sense. You see exactly where the volume is trading. I'll go over why this is even more enhanced and offers more transparency than a footprint chart. Okay, the primary reason is because it's aggregated on a footprint chart. But I'm going to take off the volume dots here, and then here's the first element on that Bookmap chart. Okay, it's just historical best bid and offer, and that's it. Okay, and what's so great about this is that if we look at a candlestick chart, and let's throw that on here, we can see that it's an aggregate period of 5 minutes in this case. Okay, this is a 5-minute candlestick chart. And what you miss on the candlestick chart is all sorts of microstructures. You can see like there's a microstructure down here, and then there's actually kind of a bigger microstructure here. Okay, you really miss all that data, especially right in here. You can see, so what do I mean by this microstructure, and why is this a problem with a candlestick chart? Well, because here's historical best bid and offer. It just goes back and forth and is recorded. That's it. So I can see a little microstructure here. It was broken. We come back up and test where we broke from right here because it accepted outside of the structure. For those of you trading your volume profiles, etc., well, you would understand what I'm talking about. And we accept it outside on the breakdown. We come back and retest, and then we accept lower again. Okay, we actually get another retest up in here. But this little structure here is giving us a lot of information. Okay, none of that is available in this candlestick chart here. Okay, because between this dashed vertical line and this one over here, this is really what occurred in price. Okay, and the candlestick chart is only showing you open, high, low, and close from here to here. Okay, and you're missing out on all of this is what's going on down here. We're going to see an order flow changeover, and I'll show it here in just a minute. Okay, so we're understanding what the microstructure is. Now, what we want to do is we want to place the volume on that microstructure. Okay, and this is where we're really starting to understand who's in control by understanding the aggressor type of volume here. Okay, a green dot is an aggressive market buy, a red dot is an aggressive market sell. So let's zoom into this area and let me show you exactly what I mean. Let's just go into the low here. Okay, so 2 elements on the chart. Okay, that's it. Okay, so here it is. Historical best offer is the red line, best bid is the green line. Okay, and then we can see these dots here. Okay, these are transactions. Okay, this is a market buy order, the green dot. So they crossed the spread and they took liquidity. They didn't provide it and they didn't wait in line. They wanted in, so they paid up. They paid the spread, and then a green dot is painted here on the Bookmap chart. Okay, let's zoom in a little bit closer to this one here, and you can see. Well, let's see. There's 2 trades in here. Okay, 2 different events that took place, and we're down at microsecond level here. We can continue on and just look at billions of seconds. Look at nanosecond level if you want, but just trying to show that we come from this environment here of HFT. We're showing every single market event, and our complex event processor can handle that. So we don't trade at those levels. Even though none of this data is consolidated nor aggregated. Okay, it's all available here for us. So you can see precisely where you're getting filled. Anyway, as I zoom back out, notice how we are kind of compressing the timeline. So all these trade events, these 2 trade events, are kind of being aggregated together just graphically or visually into a bigger dot. Okay, and that's what we're displaying here. Now, if I continue to zoom out, you'll see that some of these dots will, that's getting a little too big. Some of these dots they'll turn into like a bigger dot, and you can see that some of them are a pie display that shows buying and selling. Okay, what happens is that there's so many events that happen so quickly that we can only give you the overall shape of the delta of the volume. So you can start to see here, like for example up here, there's a little bit of selling, but the majority is by far buying here. Okay, and you can see it's enough to lift the offer a few ticks here. Okay, note the aggressive selling down here. The sellers are in control until down here. Okay, and note how really quite a bit of selling, and then look how it started to kind of dwindle quite a bit, right? And then look up here. Okay, we see that the buying really started to pick up. That's the opposite of what we see over in this area. Okay, we're starting to see kind of a shift here in this order flow. And then the buyers start to step in here. Okay, and more buyers start to step in. And look at the selling down in some of these little areas here on these little lows, okay, on the best bid. There's very little. Okay, so we're starting to note that buyers are stepping in and they're starting to lift the offer, and we actually break this microstructure. This is critical to understand in order flow. Okay, and this is not only on these small time frames. These are very high time frames as well. You can see the same structures here. Okay, so you can see that buyers started to take control here. Okay, we went sideways for quite a while, and the sellers took one more shot at it here and went took it to a new low here, okay, at 1020 after 1024. But look at the buyers step right back in. Okay, and they're trying to get it up above. You know, if the buyers can come in here and show a lot of power and a lot of force and get it up above this swing up here, then they're in control. Okay, and we see that here. All right, so this is what we're showing just with volume and historical best bid and offer in this candlestick chart. It really isn't helping us at all. It doesn't give any of that information. So let's take it off here. And now those are just the two elements here in Bookmap. And let's put on that, let's add our third element that I kind of mentioned earlier, the heat map, okay? And here we go, okay? Now, this third element, all it is, it's very, very simple and objective data here. Okay, let's zoom into the current market. Okay, you can see the buyers took it to a swing up here and it kind of exhausted out, and sellers came right back in, and we've made new low. And actually, it looks like the sellers are in control. We're down below here with a really big cluster of volume. It looks a little bit of both sides, but I see more red. So it looks like sellers are going to take this lower here, and looking for that. Maybe we'll get this right now on this swing here. I'll probably go sideways for a bit, but we might get it with this swing here down into like 30. A lot of liquidity down here. So let's go over the liquidity. Okay, what are we looking at in the heat map? Well, everything to the right of this vertical white line here is the live market. Okay, everything to the left is historical. So what we're looking at is this heat map here with the best bid and offer. And the heat map is based on the dome. Okay, here's our dome in Bookmap. Let me zoom in just a little bit more. Okay, here's a best bid and offer right now. And you can see these numeric values here. These are contracts. This is liquidity. It's on the offer at these price levels. Okay, down here it's on these price levels here. It's liquidity on the bid. They want to be buyers down here. They want to be sellers up here. Okay, now you'll see areas of high liquidity. You can see these numbers are changing constantly, right? That's very typical, especially in deeper markets like the ES. You can get some pretty radical changes. Let's actually bring down the. There we go. So when these numbers change, the change will be reflected graphically in this window here. Okay, with the heat map. So when you see added contracts on the offer, you're going to see it get brighter in some of these areas. Look up here. Here, 678 contracts, and it's brighter compared to the other areas. Okay, look where it's the brightest. Actually, it's down here. The scale of the heat map is up here. From black is the lowest liquidity to orange is the highest. Well, here's the highest. There's 1,000 contracts down here at 2730. Okay. All right, so that's what they're showing in the heat map. Now, what gets really interesting is we take this data here in the graphical heat map and project it on the chart historically. So this is unique because before we're not able to see that. When we come up to areas or come down to areas of high liquidity in the dome, these numeric values change, and then we lost what was there before. We don't know. Okay, this allows us all to do all sorts of things. We can start to zoom out. We can start to read how long this player was down here. Okay, how much liquidity, how they're behaving as price is coming toward him right now. Okay, note how he's starting to pull a little bit of that liquidity. Okay, so now we're starting to gauge intent of these traders. Okay, now they're adding back in as soon as price starts to move away a bit. Interesting. So do they really want to trade here or not? Well, we'll get our answer when price comes right down to it, and they may pull. Okay, it looks like we're about to test it here. So let's see if the sellers, we can see more and more selling here. So let's see them trade into this 2730. Okay, see how the buyers are starting to step in and the sellers. Look at the sellers down here. Okay, we don't see a lot. Okay, there's some. I mean, I still think we'll get our test here, but look how buyers are starting to come in. Okay, starting to kind of rotate out of this area here. Okay, now we're going to find sellers here in a second, and we're going to see how, if they've got enough power, because we're starting to find buyers get interested here. So here come the sellers. And how badly do they want these 1,000 contracts down here? Okay, well, not too badly. You know, they're really not sellers are really not showing that much interest at the moment here at all. In fact, we're finding buyers. Okay, you know, we're still in this micro trend here. We're still in a downtrend. Okay, so we're still bearish here, right? And here we come. Let's see if the sellers will take them on now. But you start to note that the behavior here, okay, buyers are starting to show some interest. Okay, here come the sellers. Now we want to know, there we go, there's our test right there, right at 27.30. Okay, now let's zoom into this area and let's really check out and see exactly what occurred here, because we want to understand, did they stay in the book? And they did. Okay, look at how much traded here. Okay, at this point, you know, all of these contracts that we had over 1,000 or about 927, and then it went down to and I can get the exact values by using this data tip tool, or you can see in the lower left-hand corner, right, that they started to pull. They went actually from 927 to 721 in terms of contracts. Okay, so they pulled some of it, but they traded right into it as well. Okay, so we know precisely what occurred here. Okay, here's my volume column over here. 578 contracts traded right into that high liquidity where there was 720 being provided. Okay, and that is fact. This is factual information. So when you hear other traders talk about the dome and they say it's all fake liquidity, well, here's the answer. It's not all fake liquidity, and this traded, the majority of this traded. That is fact. Okay, we can make that distinction because we have it right in front of us. Okay, so there's larger players here. They're starting to get kind of, you know, they're starting to provide liquidity in these levels here. Okay, now we can start to put together a lot more pieces here based on what we're seeing. Okay, what about you know, how are they behaving in the auction? Okay, you know, look how they're starting to provide more liquidity at lower areas here on the offer, and they're also lower on the bid. Okay, so the buyers here, they're going to layer into this at lower levels, and this is bearish. And we're seeing the sellers, you know, hit right into this liquidity. Okay, here's another example here. Okay, again, some of it stayed and some of it pulled here. Okay, almost 200 contracts traded here. So they're starting to position, the larger players, it looks like, are starting to layer into this position, but slowly as it's going against them. And why would they do that? Right? Well, it's because there's limit orders. They'll get their price without moving price away from them. Okay, so limit orders here, the larger players can have this. They can layer into this over time. So here we go again, trading right into 28. Okay, and yeah, so they're not too interested here. They're actually pulling, and it goes down to 27 here. Okay, and they're staying in. And actually, look at this behavior here. 635 contracts on the bid at 27.27 on up, and they got more aggressive to 731. Okay, so now we're getting even more insight, right? Okay, I'm starting to look for buyers to start to step in now. Okay, because it looks like the sellers absorbed a few different times here, and I'm looking for sellers down here to start to exhaust out. Okay, so let's see if we get that behavior here. Okay, I don't see it so far. I mean, we're seeing less that traded down here, right, at this 26 3/4. Okay, and let's see if they take them on down to 26, 27, 26. And here we go. Robert, let's see. What does the cache file do? It grows 5 to 10 gigabytes and disappears when Bookmap closes. Reappears on replay. The cache file, it should be the recorded data, Robert. Okay, so here come the buyers. Okay, we came down to 26 and actually they pulled. Okay, buyers are starting to step in and show some interest here. Okay, and we can see their behavior here with the aggressive volume. Okay, we're still bearish. You know, look at our microstructural elements here, and we can see that we came up and tested the top of this little swing here, but we rejected and came right back down into the middle. Okay, we need to trade above this 28 level, and we need to see significant buy volume above it. Okay, for this to start to show signs of a reversal. Okay, and here they come. Now let's see them break up here. Maybe they can test this high liquidity up here around 29 1/4. And let's see if they even bid up. They were down here at 26, right? And they pulled basically. The price came down and they pulled. Here's that behavior. They're starting to bid up a little bit here. Okay, looking for insight there. So they might start to chase price in this auction. Okay, anyway, just going through some of the basics here and starting to, I mean, you can see what I'm doing. I'm going through and I'm reading the tape, which is the volume, okay? I'm reading that, but in context to the auction, okay? And it's critical to understand that. Like, how are they in the auction? How many times have we seen this actually when, you know, a candlestick chart, volume profile, patterns, whatever it might be, you know, you may think, okay, well, you know, we're going to get a pullback into a low volume node and it will reject and come back down. And that may happen. But what if there was all sorts of liquidity on the other side? Well, it's not going to make it to that low volume node. Okay, so you're not really getting a good picture of what's going, you know, on in the market. You're not getting that complete view, and that view is truly the liquidity. Where are they bidding? Where are they offering? And it's very important to understand that and put it into context of reading the tape. All right. So anyway, let's wrap it up. We'll call it a day, and we will go through this again tomorrow. And let me know if you have any questions. Happy to go through this, and we can start to go through some of the basics here, like sweep of the limit order book, how we move out of levels, and very important part of understanding the order flow. Let's see if we can get a sweep up here into like our 29 level. That's what we were looking for earlier, right? Anyway, we'll keep an eye on it, and we'll catch up with you guys tomorrow.